It is hypocritical to hate on highly paid CEOs but worship highly paid celebrities. I feel like it is hypocritical to hate on CEOs for being highly paid and not celebrities, singers, athletes, or models. CEOs arguably work way harder, unlike the latter who typically just won the genetic lottery. I am sure we can generally agree that for the vast majority of actors/actresses/singers/models today, they are only famous because they are attractive. Sure, there are exceptions and some might be truly talented as well, but for the vast majority, they wouldn't have become famous on talent alone and oftentimes only are more talented than the general populace because their beauty afforded them the opportunities to develop those talents. For example, there are plenty of models who were born attractive, get scouted in the street and suddenly they are making millions. Same with actors. Look at Chris Pratt. He was a community college dropout, homeless living in Hawaii, and working as a waiter when he got scouted by a producer/director. These people literally became successful not through hard work but through their genetics. If they were ugly, they wouldn't have gotten anywhere in life. You can look at how many so-called actors just play themselves in every single movie. Same goes for athletes. Sure, they worked hard but also they were born with the right set of genes, and I think it is strange to hate on a CEO for their high salary when they manage tens of thousands of employees, typically require many years of management experience, deal with a lot of stress, usually have to work 60 or more hours a week, are on call all the time, and also require a strong education to get to where they are. On the flip side, you have people who are paid tens of millions to play a sport, which while I admit requires lots of practice to get to that skill level, but ultimately I believe it's hard to justify the value it adds to society in comparison to that of a CEO managing a huge corporation. What really irks me is that there are actually people demanding that CEO salaries get capped, while nobody tries to say celebrity salaries should be capped also. There are countries like China which actually put an upper limit on the salaries of celebrities. I think it does a disservice to society if you cap the salaries of CEOs. It's like saying yeah, everyone should go be an Instagram model. Traditional office jobs are to be looked down on and people who work hard to climb the corporate ladder shouldn't be rewarded. For the people arguing that CEOs make their money off the backs of workers below them, you can say the same about celebrities. All the support staff needed to make their films, do their makeup, give them choreography lessons, stunt doubles, their agents who land them their contracts, etc. are all grossly underpaid compared to them, even more so than a CEO does compared to senior staff at the company they work for. Most executive level employees and even simply senior managers running large teams make over $200,000 a year, whereas you would be hard pressed to find salaries like that on a film production except for maybe the director. This exact thing was posted maybe a day ago. Why the shit does the sub even have rules? CEOs arguably work way harder, unlike the latter who typically just won the genetic lottery. Athletes work insanely hard. Amen. Big corporation bad, they're just evil and wanna take our monies. But Beyonce said something about empowerment or something while looking down from an ivory tower, so she is good, Ya's queen. Or some wrestler made a epic meme face equals good and funny. Celebrities, for the most part, aren't stepping on their entire staff's feet in order to be richer. Don't base your judgments on someone by how hard they work for themselves, base them on what they do for everyone else. Not really, because CEOs create our modern business and labor environment, with which people have many legitimate grievances, while celebrities are generally just entertainers or athletes who perform for our enjoyment, and usually within structures built by wealthier CEOs who create their industry's business and labor environments. Also, I don't think CEOs work harder than athletes or entertainers, and I think most CEOs are way more replaceable. Like if you took the NFL and replaced every single owner and chief executive with a random, reasonably competent person with some business experience, the league might have some hiccups but ultimately would be fine. If you were to replace every player with a random, reasonably athletic person, the product would be horrific and the league would collapse. This is popular. It's super hypocritical, I agree. I like this cause not many people have said this on here, at least from what I've seen. Why? At least celebrity usually have some big ol titties to look at. I'll support socialism the day all the Hollywood elites give up their millions in capital and sell off their homes/cars and live like normal people. You're vastly overrating what CEOs do and how they got to the point they're at. Dude, being a high-paid celebrity is no walk in the park. You have to suck hundreds of dicks to get ahead. There is no coincidence that the vast majority of men in Hollywood are gay. Sucking dick is basically in the job description. I suppose the argument is that, for the most part, we choose to pay entertainers with our wallets. Most entertainers do not have the sheer volume of people underneath them as a CEO. Many of the same principles apply though. Does Paul McCartney, who makes hundreds of thousands per performance, demand that concessionaires at concerts make a living wage? When Jennifer Lawrence complains of wage inequality, does she insist that theater employees get paid well? At the end of the day it is leverage, and they, and even us, get what we can. I don't catch your meaning? Actors and athletes are not trying to change the tax code, or EPA standards or regulations on financial services etc. Yo, you're like 2 days late, my man. Looking at it from a black-pilled standpoint, those who are less attractive will study max in classes for the opportunity to make lots of money in the future. They use this to cope for their less than desirable looks and gain money and status and, hence, attracting females that way. Those who are more attractive and have better genetic code will have a better time looks maxing and getting recognition based on their more desirable looks. It is easier for them to express other abilities they may have because the spotlight was put on them to begin with, since they are more attractive. To sum it up, really, looks all. You shouldn't be relying on the blue-pilled media when you see this stuff happening. Whether people agree or disagree with this post, it's still a pretty neat observation to read about in a black-pilled POV.